Welcome back to Vroom Cars LLC, and with this episode we are going to reassemble the vent window for the 65 through 66 Mustang. 7s and 8s are pretty much the same. So here we go, and this is what it looks like. I've decided to go with the satin black or the Euro black on the pieces. I have a piece that was pitted kind of in bad shape, and it looked much like this one. And after sandblasting or bead blasting, it looks like this. If your piece has pits, for instance, on the back, some of these are pretty rough. This one here has pitting. That can be filled in if you're doing the satin black. You can prime it, and I've used any of these over the years. Marhide is the one that I have used in the past, and it's held up pretty easily. Transtar makes theirs, SCM. And if you want to use a adhesion promoter before you use the satin black, you can always use this. I've used it either way, and I don't see a big difference with the adhesion promoter. All right, so the first step would be to take the vertical piece with the weather strip, and it has to go this way. There is a curve on that piece, and that's there for a reason. It kind of helps you use the right side. All right, so this will go in from this side, and we'll use a piece of metal to hold that down, and we will head over to our vise. This will go on the correct way here, like so. All right, so now we have this tool in our vise that'll let us hold everything together, and this will drive down center on that piece, and it won't take but a couple turns to lock that down. And there you have it. All right, and you'll continue on the same method on the next three. Next up is to install the upper window seal, and that just slides into that groove. The rivet, which is a flat head rivet, comes with the kit, will go in from the back side like so, and then we will head over to our vise again. We'll install very similar to the vertical piece, making sure that it is centered. And this rivet is a little different than the others. And it will need a little more pressure than the smaller ones. So we will continue here. All right, like so. All right, now comes the install of the main weather shield, weather stripping here. And this is simply slides in into that pocket. And then it has these tabs here that need to get pressed down into the channel. Once everything is tight, and that will be allowed to move a little bit, and then that covers, that goes right into there. All right, so now we'll put on the vertical channel. It goes with a screw up in the top piece right here. And then the bottom will be attached with two rivets on the towards the post here. And this is where I've seen it on different YouTube videos, and they use body adhesive and other ways to do it, but I've always wanted to do it the right way, similar to what was in the factory, and so I will show you that. This has a little lift on it there. It's not as tight as where the rivet is, and that piece has to go into this opening here. All right, so we can do that. Let's get that started. And then the holes here, these two, will get rivets, and I'll show you the special tool that I've used for that. Okay. All right, now comes the exciting part, because this is something that I've never seen matched in any YouTube video. So we're going to show how to do this right. I've used Handsome Rivet and Supply from out in California, and we will put in the original style rivets. These are steel rivets, not aluminum, and they will most closely resemble what it was done in the factory. Because my big fingers won't fit in that channel, we're going to use this. All right. And so that will get pressed down. And we will use this item here that I had made up special just for this purpose. And it's quite the amazing tool, because it fits right in there. Uses the head here. This is also from Hanson Rivet, and made into that piece. All right. Now you can see where it's going to clasp onto that rivet, right into that head there. Alright, so now we'll use our ratchet and we'll tighten that down till it's snug. Take out our lock. Here's the one rivet, and just the way it's supposed to look. And it's not going to pop off. Won't have any customers coming back and saying that his rail fell off and now you have to take the whole door apart again. So we'll continue and put the other rivet in. Take two. Much better. Okay. All right, so after a fail, that one's a whole bunch better, but it is tight quarters in there in that angle. So again, like I said, Hanson supplies the tips depending on how big your rivet is and how big the head. So that'll work. All right, on to the next one. All right, we're almost home with this. This simply pushes in to the seal like so. And then this pin will just, as you push in on the weather strip here, you'll slide the pin into opening, just like so. All right. Now, the bottom is, and it helps if you have another that you can match it off of. So what you can take is your anodized plate that goes along the bottom, and then your step on that bracket always goes that way. It can only go one way, so don't be surprised. If you want, you can throw a little oil or drop of oil. These never were manufactured with any oil. They use a plastic washer here, and then your other one goes on there. All right, and then everything gets screwed down. Very simple to take these vent windows apart. Hardest part is getting them out of the vehicle, because you have to tear the door apart. All right, and then your spring and the retainer bolt. And there is no washer that goes on top of that. You do not want to tighten that all the way down. It's a self-locking, so it just allows that movement of the window. All right. Okay, final piece is going to be the latch for the vent, and that usually has a wave washer, which is a very thin washer, and that allows a little movement there. And what we'll do is we're going to put this pin into that groove right there, and that's what holds that. All right, so you'll have to have the window pretty much tightened, or closed rather, but we'll get the pin started. All right, so then that's that piece. You can touch that up with some of the trim paint, and on that side also. But there you go, pretty much done. Now the bar and bracket piece that we took off, if by any chance you feel that these rivets are too high and this won't seat just right, you can always go back and file the top of those off. These are what comes in the kit for that vertical bar, and usually there's no issue with those. So this piece here gets pressed in, and that just gets pushed down until it locks in, and there's no attaching screws with this. So originally I had this, took the rivets off and the whole piece, this and this, came off together. You don't need to do that. If you put a screwdriver back here, this piece actually just lifts up out of there because it's just a press. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Again, it's Vroom Cars LLC on Facebook, 2 R's. Don't forget that. We're not Vroom Car Vehicle Purchase. It's Vroom Cars Vehicle Rescue and Restoration of Old Mustang Cars. Like, follow, and if you have any questions or comments, please send them to the group or not the group, to the Vroom Cars LLC on Facebook.
Or comment below.
Or comment below.